Hello, well here we are. A few of you have asked for a little bit more information about working with the moon cycle, and you know, it's one of those things where throughout our life we have so many cycles that exist, and if we can try and get into tune with some of those, so working with the lunar cycle, if you're a woman, working with your menstrual cycle, your hormonal cycle, working with the seasonal cycle, there's so much out there that actually if we just step into the movement of the earth, the movement of the universe, things really start to flow for us, because we are not fighting against what exists. We are part of what exists. So we go into a natural state when we work with cycles, the state that, you know, we should always be able to flow in and out of. So at the minute we are in the waning gibbous moon phase. So we not long ago had the full moon. It was a super moon. So if you're looking at this sort of short workshop now, as I'm about to upload it, it is November 2025. So about a week ago we had a super moon, and we are now moving towards the new moon. And this is a beautiful, beautiful time now to reflect, look back and let go. So what I'd like you all to do now is just take a gentle pause and sit with me for a few moments, slowly exhaling. Just sit in the silent space, breathing in and out with the natural rhythm of your breath, so the natural cycle of your breath, not forcing anything. Your body is incredibly clever. It knows exactly what it needs to do. If you are someone that has a tendency though to chest breathe, which many people do, take your breath down into your belly. Chest breathing activates our sympathetic nervous system, so our fight and flight and anxiety system, taking our belly down into our stomach, and our belly area kicks in our parasympathetic nervous system, so our relaxation, our reflection, our restore, our rest, our digest state. So take that breath and just sit in silence for a few moments, and allowing this space to greet you, that anyone else who is joining you in this video, whether it's at the same time, whether it's in a different time zone, it doesn't matter. They have shown up for themselves as you are showing up for yourselves, and taking this moment to learn a little bit more about the moon. So just pause. Everybody being present in this moment. And take a breath in with me through your nose. And breathe out. And again, in through your nose. And breathe out. And closing your eyes, breathe in through your nose. Breathing out. Remain now with your eyes closed. And just sit in this moment as the full moon, the recognition of the full moon that we've not long had, brought everything to the surface that was needed. It may have brought up emotion, some clarity, desire, old wounds, beautiful awakenings. Maybe there was some overwhelm mixed in for you. And now we are in the waning gibbous moon, and that's asking us to integrate, to look gently at what we experience and decide what is worth keeping and what is worth letting go. So pause in that space with me once again. Just allowing that all just to sink in. This is a powerful phase of the moon to be working with. And we can work with this phase right up until our new moon. Good. Good. I invite you now, if you want to, you can open your eyes. Okay, so this phase, spiritually, this phase of the moon is the wise feminine. And that's the feminine in everybody, if you're male, female, or otherwise, whatever you are identify as. We all have a feminine energy and we all have a masculine energy. So this phase of the wise woman is the part of us that reflects instead of reacting. Okay, if you like to think of her, and I love this, I love thinking of this phase as she is the librarian. She's sorting what stays for us and sorting what can go. And I just love that image of a beautiful kind of feminine moon energy, just kind of going, yep, we're going to keep this bit and that, no, let's chuck it. I just love this kind of like, you know, this I just conjures up this gorgeous image in my head, you know. It's a role I would love to step into. It's just such a wonderful, powerful image. And allowing to let go and flow with ease. So it's not a reactive state. It's not a throwaway state. It's somewhere where we are just doing it with flow. It needs recognition, recognizing what is important to stay, and recognizing what is important to release. So our key energies with the Waning Gibbous phase is integration, realignment, gratitude and softness, releasing but without force. There is no force here. And returning back to center. So we're kind of trying to begin to return back to self. Are some emotional themes that might come up for you is, what did I learn? What just unfolded for me as we went through that full moon time and came into the waning? What did I learn? What happened? So it's a good time, and you're welcome to pause the video now if you want and just think about that. You might want to have a pen and paper. What did I learn? Look back on the last couple of weeks of your life. What happened? What unfolded? What did you personally go through? What growth happened for you? We don't need to look into it too much. We don't need to try and delve too deep into that, but it's just recognizing. That's all you've got to do, is just recognize. So the next thing you could do is also look at those things and say to yourself, what feels true to keep? What really serves me and what doesn't? What feels good and comfortable for me or necessary? Because sometimes when we're going through things in life, things might not feel that comfortable, but our intuition tells us it's necessary for us to go through it. With the Waning Gibbous moon, it is a really powerful time to start looking at building in our intuition and how that helps us grow and flow through life once we learn to listen to our intuition. So you can write that down, what feels true to keep, and if you so wish, just pause the video now and just go through those things. What does feel true to keep? What feels right to let go? Hold no guilt. If you are holding on to something because it serves a purpose for somebody else, then it's for you to let go of. If there is something that feels right, lifts your energy, brings you happiness, joy, or positive change, then you know that's right for you. If it's something that automatically brings you anxiety, puts your back up, whether that be a situation or a person perhaps, then you know they're not right for you, and it's okay to let them go. That it might not be the easiest thing, but it's okay to do. So maybe just pause right now and have a little think about that. And the other thing we can look at is what was just a momentary intensity. So this is really good for somebody who perhaps is someone who's very reactive, or if you're neurodivergent or you have something like ADHD, that if you're someone who is very spontaneous and buys the thing or gets the thing or does the thing and then afterwards thinks about it and go, maybe I should have waited, it's that momentary intensity where you feel like, God, I could go do this, I'm so spontaneous, and actually, is that going to serve you? So this is a really good time to kind of give yourself a rest, kind of go, that looks like that's a good thing to do, that looks like a fun thing to do, it looks wise that I throw this thing away, perhaps. Who's done that and regretted that afterwards? But it could be that if you just step back and gave that thing, that emotion, that situation, space and a little bit of time, the better decision would be made for it. So you can think about that. Now, what else happens with our waning gibbous? Well, there's obviously always a physical and our nervous system energies that go on with us as well. So after the peak of the full moon, this 2 weeks before the new moon happens, is a lovely time to slow down. So the full moon for many, many people, majority of people, gives an emotional peak. So the full moon, this is where the story of the werewolves come from. The lunatic comes from the lunar, because the full moon, the way it's drawing our energies and we're made of, is it 75% water, isn't it? So, imagine how the moon is kind of drawing the waves coming in and out, in and out. Well, that doesn't just happen with the sea. That happens with all bodies of water. It happens with us. So, and we know when you've got that full moon, that power of that full moon, it's gonna make us feel different. So if you begin to start working with the lunar cycle, you may start to notice that when it comes to the peak of the full moon, you are more irrational, perhaps. You are more spontaneous. You are more emotional. And you haven't just linked it to the fact that the phase of the moon in the sky. For women, we do tend to, if we do work with our hormonal cycle, we do sometimes link that with that going on for us, what phase of our cycle we're in. But it's also the phase of the moon and the powerful draw and what it can do for us. So this time now, when the gravitational pull of the full moon is it's waning at the minute, we can slow down off that emotional peak and just do a little bit of restoring and allowing to come what comes and goes what goes. We can get our nervous system sort of back to baseline. So that is about putting in our breathing and breathing into the belly to get that parasympathetic nervous system going and working. We tend to, as a society now, live in our state of fight, flight, action, do, stress, cortisol flying, blah, 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 right? We're all so busy all the time, and we tend to, unless you kind of do work, purposeful work, tend to live in that sympathetic nervous system state the majority of the time, and then we wonder why we struggle to sleep and to relax and to just chill out. So this is a lovely time to start to bring in the exercises for our parasympathetic nervous system as well. And you may feel alongside that your energies are maybe a little bit scattered right now, and that your body is actually craving to be grounded. And that's just because our nervous system is out of whack. It's not regulating itself. So what's a wonderful thing to do there with your grounding is literally shoes and socks off, feet firmly flat on the floor, closing your eyes and just breathing. The breath for our nervous system and our physical and emotional system is so important. So ground yourself. Just literally, you don't have to do much more. Be sitting, shoes and socks off, feet on the ground, breathing, eyes closed, and just noticing what's going on. Are you doing it now? Just notice the surface beneath you. what's supporting you. Doesn't matter where you are. You can just do this even if there's people around you. I'm a big believer in all these practices should be mainstream, and it shouldn't matter if you're on a crowded train, for example. If you're just sitting there with your eyes closed, who cares? You're just in your space. We don't need to make it special. We don't need to dedicate a cushion or a room to it. We can do it wherever we are. Just noticing. Bring yourself back to self. Allowing the breath to flow freely in and out of your body. Noticing any sensations that may be coming up for you. Beautiful. Okay. Just gently open your eyes if you did sink into that practice for a couple of minutes. Welcome back. So going back to all of those things, our key energies, our emotional themes, our physical and nervous system, we can look back and the three kind of questions we can ask ourselves are, what came to light for me during the full moon? What am I proud of myself for noticing or feeling? And what feels like it's ready to soften rather than being held so tightly? So you can just write those things down if you wish. I'll repeat them for you and then you can always pause the video. What came to light for me during the full moon? What am I proud of myself for noticing or feeling? And what feels like it's ready to soften rather than be held so tightly? Okay, so going through all of those things, we're gonna look at prompts now. These are beautiful prompts to work with the Waning Gibbous, and what I recommend now is that you just go through the things that I say, pause the video and just spend 10 to 20 minutes yourself just going through the prompts and seeing what comes up for you. So the first prompt is, thank you for teaching me. So these prompts are about that full moon phase, what it brought you, like we said at the beginning, what happened for you within that phase, and what you're learning and teaching. And when we are looking at prompts like this and doing reflection, we are automatically choosing and beginning to realize what's welcome to stay and what we can let go of. So going back to that first prompt, thank you for teaching me. And the purpose of that prompt is to help integrate your lessons. Your second prompt is, I release the need to. And the purpose of that prompt is to soften control, because the Waning Gibbous and this beautiful wise feminine is allowing guidance and flow to take place. So we're not making a real conscious choice. We're not choosing to throw things away. We're just kind of going, yeah, that doesn't fit with me. That can go. Be very soft with it. A really nice way of, if you are going to start consciously letting go of things in that soft manner, is when you say, I release or I let go. Imagine it going down a stream with leaves, and it literally just symbolically flows away from you. Okay, our third prompt: what I know now that I didn't know a week ago. So what I know now that I didn't know a week ago. And that the purpose of that prompt is to cultivate our insight. And we can sometimes feel quite surprised by what comes up for us, what we didn't realise that we didn't know. So that's a knowing in itself, isn't it? But what we didn't realise, what we didn't know. And we start to learn interesting things about ourselves. Okay, and our last prompt: the version of me I am becoming is. And the purpose of that prompt is opening up future direction. So we are setting our new path, ready for new beginnings with the new moon. So with the releasing and letting go of any emotions or anything that came up for us throughout the full moon into the waning gibbous, this is now the time for allowing that to flow, because a new version, or the version that's just been there but maybe been clouded or has been stuck with so much identity that, you know, it's got a bit lost. So that version of you that's becoming now, what is it? Let's open up that path. Let's open up that journey. Let's open up that door. Can you imagine walking along this beautiful path and just seeing a collection of magnificent fairy tale like doors in front of you? And you reach into your pocket and you find a set of keys. You know, which key lights up for you? Which door calls you? And you have all of the keys to all of the doors, right? And you have the opportunity to open every single door to see what's behind it and to see if that feels right for you. And that's how we should walk our path in life. We're not looking at a set of doors and going, oh, I can only choose one. I hope I get this right. You've got access to them all. And you are the key holder to it all. And there's nothing wrong in opening up one door going, okay, I'm going to step in there. You know what? That's not right for me. But now I know, right? Going into another one. No, that wasn't right for me. This one. Okay, I can see myself here. I like this. I'm going to go and open this one too, because I'm interested in there, but I know this is here. So that's a great option. That's a great door to go through. But I'm going to go and explore these ones as well. So when we are future pacing ourselves, when we're looking at the version of ourselves that we want to become, or it's not about becoming in a lot of the time. It's about undoing those expectations that were put upon us by ourselves and by others, and just maybe how our life has panned out. And now you have the permission, right? Do you need the permission? Well, if you need permission, you have it from me, but you shouldn't need it from me. It comes from you. You give yourself the permission to be that key holder to all of the doors and to open all of the doors, and not be fearful that some of them just aren't going to be the right door for you. But the version of you that you truly are, when you walk through the right door, by God, you will know it, okay? And it doesn't mean there won't be another set of doors along the way, right? Life's a journey. But we'll keep finding those keys and we'll keep finding the doors. You just have to keep walking through them. So just go and have a bit of reflection now. Look at those prompts. So the thank you for teaching me. I release the need to. What I know now that I didn't know a week ago. And the version of me I am becoming is. So take the next, I don't know, 10 to 20 minutes. Don't overthink, just write what comes. And you can pause the video and I'll see you when you come back. Okay. How did that feel for you? You might want to comment in the group, send me a message, whatever you want to do. How did those things, did anything come up for you? It's okay if it did. That, you know, the help is there if it did. Maybe you just found it really cathartic, really releasing that actually, wow, this going with the lunar cycle is such a powerful practice, and literally this is like your first time doing it, second time, or maybe you used to do it and you stepped out of it, or maybe this is just a beautiful reminder of what else you can do with working with the lunar cycle. So those are the beautiful journal prompts that you can use over the next couple of weeks whilst we wait for the new moon. I'm going to do a workshop for the new moon as well, and keep revisiting those. So don't just do this now and then go, okay, done that. When we're working with the cycle of the moon, it's a continuous thing. It's like a continuous practice that we do. Okay, so look back on those journal prompts and see every couple of days maybe what else? Is there anything you can add? Is there anything that you're kind of markedly going, wow, I held on to that and I've been able to let it go. That's so powerful for me. A beautiful, beautiful Waning Gibbous ritual, which I will talk you through now, which you can maybe go away and do in an evening, is something very symbolic of letting go of something you really doesn't serve you. So if there's something big has come up for you, if you are saying goodbye to something that you've been holding on to for a long time, or maybe it's just a more of a little thing that you need to kind of say goodbye to, or even perhaps if you have experienced grief recently, you can kind of say your goodbyes and your words and do this ritual, and it will allow those feelings of grief and perhaps what happened for you to be released to the universe, to be released to the moon, and not hold so tightly within self. So for this ritual, so don't do just listen to what I'm going to say now, and then of an evening I would recommend, just because it's slightly more symbolic because of the moon, but you know, you can do it during the day, go and do this beautiful ritual and share with us. I would love it if you want to do this ritual and share your experiences, any photos you do. So this is a Waning Gibbous ritual. It'll take you about 10 minutes. So you can call this phase with our wise feminine like a simple, a gentle release without the drama. Yeah, so that's what I mean when we're saying goodbyes to stuff. We're not doing it with anger. We're not doing it with aggression. We're doing it with love. We're doing it with that beautiful feminine energy, that care. So even if it is a situation that has angered us or made us very reactive, we can release it without that happening. So you will need, so I have a hair, pen, a scrap of paper, and a candle, and a candle or bowl. So write down one thing. So we're just doing one thing at a time, okay? One thing that you no longer need to carry. Could be a fear, could be a narrative, could be a pattern, could be an old identity, could be pressure from others, could be expectations. And once you've written it down, hold it and read it quietly to yourself. Just look over the thing that you're releasing. And already you may find that when you're doing that, you're feeling better. And then whisper, I release this with kindness. I do not need to carry this anymore. I release this with kindness. I do not need to carry this anymore. I release this with kindness, and I do not need to carry this anymore. Okay. And now, with your candle and your bowl, just gently light your candle. And with your piece of paper, just gently put it into the flames and allow the flames and the embers and the smoke just to take what you no longer need to carry away, and allow the ashes to fall into the bowl. And as you watch it, just breathe. Breathe and maybe have a gentle smile on your face. Now, when you're doing that type of ritual, please be safe, because you are using an open flame. You may wish to do it outside, have water nearby, anything like that, but please be very safe when you are using the candle. So if anybody wants to share anything that softened for them throughout of it, or the spaces here in the community, perhaps it's something you want to keep private, and that's fine too. A really beautiful practice, if you are wanting to start to work with the moon, is to start a moon journal. So write down what you've released and what you've softened in your journal. And what the most beautiful thing to do actually when we are working with the moon is to be able to go back into our journals and reflect. And then we see the patterns that come up for us time and time again throughout the phases of the moon. And that then does help us to be able to release those patterns, and to really see what works for us, what doesn't work for us anymore, and how we can move and flow through life. So having a moon cycle journal is actually really important practice if you really do want to take on the working with the moon. So thank you for watching this video. It's obviously a slightly longer one, being just over half an hour. I thank you for sitting in this softer space with me today. The Waning Gibbous teaches us that transformation isn't always loud, it doesn't have to be, and sometimes the most powerful change is the quiet kind, the kind that happens inside our body without needing to prove it to the outside world. Working with the moon is a deeply, deeply personal experience, and one that can be really life-changing if you really do begin to harness the power of the Mother Moon. So on the back of this workshop, I am going to create a full course on the lunar cycle. So I hope you choose to join that course. If you have any questions, in the meantime, post in our community, send me a message. No question is a silly question, and I would love to join you on this journey of bringing the moon, the power of the moon into your life. And I think if you go that route, you will be amazed at how much you already do that sinks into the lunar cycle. You may just not have realised it yet.